Hey, what's up, guys? It's Mr. Creatine, and sorry I didn't upload this video yesterday. Some stuff came up, but anyway, to get into today's story time, this is something that took place, I would say, probably about a month or two ago. And it was a pretty normal Friday. I was at school, surprisingly, and something I was really happy about with this history class compared to like a lot of my other classes is I had a couple of my friends in this class, and the way of the layout of the seating was I had my one friend who I think I called Kevin in previous story times in front of me, and then my other friend who we'll just call Noah, he sat behind me. And so yeah, it was a pretty just normal history class that day. We learned and we had a really good teacher, so we'd always like get class done 5 to 10 minutes early normally because he would actually teach us in a way that was fast paced and we could learn properly. And so I'm just shooting the shit with Kevin and Noah at the end of class, and we're all talking about what we're gonna do this weekend, like what we want to do, and we start making plans for like this day specifically, like tonight. And we're all talking, and we discussed maybe going to the movies to see Smile 2, because that had just come out around the time, or even just like dicking around, getting food, doing dumb shit. And we decided that since I was the only one that in like that trio of friends that can drive, I would come pick them up like a few hours after school had ended because they had needed time to get ready. I needed time to get like my room cleaned up, and I also needed to ask my mom if they could stay over. And this was so we didn't have to like risk them having to be home at specific times and then they go home severely fucked up, which I don't think either of their parents would have cared anyway. So it's not like it really mattered, but we had basically finalized the plan at this point, and we were just waiting for the school day to end. And so the period ends, and normally there would be like a study hall class after like our early world history class, but the seniors all were able to leave the building as long as they didn't have like any outstanding absences or not failing any classes, which none of us were. So we all just, dipped out of the building, all went our separate ways. And yeah, so I went home. I proceeded to ask my mom if Noah and Kevin could both stay over. She said yes. I said bet. And then I went back to my room and I started cleaning up a bit, which there wasn't really that much to clean up. So I got done pretty quickly and just started like smoking for a little bit. And then Noah hit me up and he was like, hey, I'm ready to be picked up. And I said, bet. I went out to the car, started it, and I went down to his house. And Noah does not live that far from me. So it took me like maybe 3 minutes to get there. And then we start hitting up Kevin to see if we can go pick him up yet. Kevin says, yeah, he's ready. And then we start going out that way. Now, that drive out to Kevin's house was a little bit longer than Noah's. It was like a nice, like 15-20 minute drive if I was fast enough and there wasn't many other cars on the road. And so, yeah, we take like a nice 15-20 minutes, probably driving up to his house. And we get there and we're just chilling out in this like little patch of grass where I like to wait out. And Kevin eventually comes out and he has a whole like backpack. Like he was very ready for tonight. And Kevin had told me that he brought a little bit of weed, some dabs, and his very nice bong. And I wish I had a picture of this bong because I probably would put it up on screen, but I did not ask him for one before I started making this video, which was very big L. But anyway, we start going back to my house, and we're still discussing what we want to do. And Kevin decides to tell us that his older brother, who we'll just call fucking Nathan, had basically gotten like new speakers for his car and wanted to show us, but he was not at like their house. He was over at like, I don't know, some random business, I guess. So we decided we were gonna go there and check out the speakers. And I'm not really much of a car guy, but I'm pretty much down for anything. So we're continuing driving, and then our one friend, who we'll just call Ben, hits up, I think either Kevin or Noah, asking if we could hang out, and we all said bet. And we proceeded to go down to his house and wait for him before we went over to go check on fuck, what did I call him? Nathan's speakers. And where Ben lived, it was fairly close to where Noah lived, so it was on the way to like where we were going anyway. So we went down, we parked over by Ben's house, and this is when me and Noah decided it might be a good time to swap driving, because I was not doing very good driving while high, which don't ever do that. It's not a smart decision. You're so fucking impaired while driving high, and it's not even funny. But yeah, me and Noah decide to swap, and I'm sitting over in the passenger seat, and I would say like 5 or 10 minutes goes by before Ben comes out. But eventually he does, and we start going over to where Nathan is, and we get there, and I think we spend probably about like 30 minutes to an hour there talking to Nathan about the speakers. Like, he was showing us it. I hadn't seen Nathan in like a hot minute because I hadn't talked to him since he graduated, which was last year. And so we're just catching up, talking about the speakers. Low key probably being loud as shit outside of this business, and something very random and weird happens. So basically, where this business was, there was like a little chain fence with, I think, like, I don't know, a panel or like cloth or something over it so you couldn't like see the other side. And some random dude just started screaming out of nowhere. I don't know if it was like at us or at somebody else, but none of it was like legible. You didn't know what this dude was saying, and it was just random screaming. So we're all just sitting there like, okay, I guess this is what we're doing now. And we just go back to what we're doing, checking out the car, and eventually we decided we were ready to leave at this point, and we all got back in the car and we were discussing what our next course of action was, which we opted to not go to the movies and just go to McDonald's and then go back to my house. So we start driving down to McDonald's, and when I tell you, when we got there, we were the biggest backed people on the planet. There's like, I think 5 pictures in my camera roll from that night of just us eating food, and I'm also pretty sure we went back to McDonald's the next day. So we had a pretty good feast on some McDonald's food. Then we went back to my house and we just started smoking, all getting faded, blazed up. We packed some weed in the bong, we packed some of the dabs in the bong, and we all just started smoking that, passing it around. And eventually we get hit up by our one friend who we'll just call Caleb, and he asked us if him and Todd can come hang out for a little bit. And if you don't remember who Todd is, essentially all you really need to know is he's a tad bit older than the rest of us, and he's a working man. So we say bet, but we also come to the conclusion that it might not be a good idea to bring Todd around my mom, cuz I don't think she would very much approve of us hanging out with Todd. So we say, hold up, we'll go sit out in the car, we'll wait for you, and we'll all just smoke up in the car. Because it was like fairly late at this point. It was dark out. No one would be able to see us out there if we turned the headlights off. So we all say bet, we get our stuff around. Kevin grabs the bong, some dabs, some weed, and I also grab some of my weed to bring some out. And we all just go out, sit in the car, and I would say like 5 minutes go by, and Caleb and Todd pull up to my house, and they all just hop out of their car and hop into mine, and this is when the fun starts. We all just start getting blazed. Everyone's faded. The car was completely hotboxed, and so the way that the seating layout was, it was me in the driver's seat, Noah in the passenger seat, Ben behind Noah, and Todd behind me, and then if you guys know how like Chevy Traverses are, I had like 3 seats in the very back of the car that can go down, and they were down, and basically Kevin and Caleb were sitting in the trunk of my car, and we're all just having a good time. Noah's on aux playing some music. I don't even remember what he was playing, but he always is playing some good shit. And I think we probably spent like around an hour out here smoking it like in the car, which is kind of insane that we had that much to smoke out there in the car. And I think everything went well while in the car, except for the fact that Caleb, he's somebody from one of my previous story times, and he has a history of being a little fuckhead when it comes to smoking. But this time it was genuinely an accident, and he accidentally burnt Todd, and Todd's like, "Oh, you want to burn me, bro?" and started like lighting his lighter, and I'm like, "No, Todd, we don't do that here." And yeah, everything was just pretty chill after that. So we all get out the car, we dap up Caleb and Todd, and they leave to go back to Todd's place, and everyone else, we decide just to go back into my house. And honestly, we kept just smoking and playing video games for like the rest of the night. And yeah, that's pretty much where today's story time ends. I would say it was probably one of my more fun ones, but Friday the 12 days of Mr. Creatine starts, and I'll be Starting that off by streaming some Minecraft on that same world I played on the other night, but I'll be doing that Friday night around like probably 9 or 10 o'clock. And yeah, I'm just going to be uploading streaming for the whole 12 days up until Christmas, including on Christmas. So yeah, look forward to that and stay tuned. And if you guys enjoyed today's story time, drop a like, comment, and subscribe if you could. We're almost at 50 subscribers, and it would just be really cool to hit that milestone. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.